The first day of the trip started before the sun even decided to show up. Engines hummed in the early morning air like a pack of metal beasts stretching awake. My father and his biker gang stood around, all leather jackets and deep voices, trying to look tough. And then there was my daughter, 5 years old, curly hair stuffed into a helmet that was just slightly too big, making her look like a tiny astronaut assigned to a very questionable mission. She stood next to my dad's motorcycle, hands on her hips. "Grandpa," she said. "I am ready." He nodded like this was a completely normal situation. Meanwhile, I stood beside my own bike, already questioning every life decision that led to this moment. "You stay close to Grandpa," I told her. She looked at me, calm and confident. "Mommy," she said. "I am not the problem." That was not comforting. And just like that, the engines roared to life. We took off. The road stretched ahead, cutting through hills and trees. The morning air crisp and alive. I kept glancing over at her, riding in front of me with my dad. At first, she was quiet, just taking it all in. Then, slowly, her head started turning. Left, right, up, everywhere. And then it began. "Grandpa," she shouted over the wind. "Yes. Why are the trees running?" "They are not running, we are." She paused, processed, then shouted, "Oh, we are very fast people." I laughed inside my helmet. A few minutes later, "Grandpa." "Yes. If we fall, do we bounce?" "No." "Okay, good to know." I tightened my grip on the handlebars. This was going to be a long day. We stopped at a small roadside stall for breakfast. The bikers parked in a line, looking intimidating as always. My daughter jumped off the bike, like she had just completed a grand expedition. She pulled off her helmet, hair exploding in all directions, eyes shining. "That was amazing," she declared. Then she looked at the group. "You are all very loud." One biker laughed. "That's the engines." She nodded. "Yes, your engines have big feelings." They accepted this. During breakfast, she sat between them like a tiny queen surrounded by very large, very obedient guards. One of the bikers asked, "Are you tired?" She shook her head. "No, I am built for adventure." I nearly choked on my drink. Back on the road, the scenery changed. Green hills rolled like waves. The sky opened wide. The wind grew stronger. She went quiet again. Then softly, "Grandpa." "Yes. This is like a movie." He smiled. "Yes, it is." Then she added, "But I am the main character." "Of course you are." By afternoon, we reached a stretch of road overlooking a valley. We stopped for a break. The view was breathtaking. Mountains in the distance, wind brushing through tall grass. The world felt wide and endless. My daughter stood at the edge, staring. For once, she said nothing, just looked. Then she turned to me. "Mommy," she said quietly. "The world is very big." I walked over and held her hand. "Yes," I said. She nodded, then added, "And we are very small." A deep, beautiful moment. Peaceful. Perfect. Then, "But our bikes are not small." And just like that, the philosophy ended. By the time we reached the camping ground, the sun was setting. Orange light painted everything gold. The engines slowly went quiet, one by one, like a story coming to rest. My daughter slid off the bike, stretched dramatically, and looked around. Tents, trees, firewood, the open sky. She placed her hands on her hips again. "Okay," she said. Everyone turned to her. "What now?" one biker asked. She pointed at the ground. "We sleep here." "Yes." She nodded. "Good." Then she added, "But if any bugs touch me." Pause. "I am going home." The entire group burst out laughing. My dad shook his head. I took off my helmet, smiling. Day 1. No disasters. No crashes. Just one tiny girl, who had already taken over the entire ride, and somehow, made it better.